Since watching Total Diva, one of the things that's very interesting to me is the critics out there, mostly the wrestling fans who actually watch Total Divas. I'm one of those guys that watch Total Divas because I think it's a very interesting show. And it kind of reflects situations that even I go through in the wrestling business. So that's why I actually like watching it. But anyway, one of the things I notice with critics is they like to poke fun at certain divas that's part of Total Divas. You always hear a lot of criticism about Ariana, which I have to say, there's every reason why we need to poke fun at her or have a lot of negative criticism over her. Then you have Ava Marie at one point, and just recently Summer Rae, and throughout the first and second seasons, you always hear a lot of flack about those women. But you hardly hear anything about the Bella Twins because I guess everyone loves the Bella Twins. But then it's kind of funny that you hardly hear any complaints about Natalya. Now, I can understand why a lot of fans don't want to give any negative criticism on her due to the fact that she's the daughter of Jim the Anvil Neidhart and the niece of Bret the Hitman Hart and Owen Hart, which is understandable, but honestly, I just feel that this has to be said. You know what I mean? I just think it has to be said. And I know I'm going to get flack for this, but you know what? My opinions, it's not right or wrong, but everyone has their own opinion about something. Now, I've always been a fan of Natalya's work. I like her ring style. I like her presence. I feel, in my opinion, she's one of the only divas in the WWE that know how to work a wrestling match. You know what I mean? And with that, all that, I'm laying that down on the table that, yes, I'm a fan of her. But the one thing I'm not a fan of from her, and I hear this not just in Total Diva, but also in interviews and promos at the shows, is that she keeps mentioning that I'm a Hart member. I'm part of the Hart dynasty and stuff like that. I grew up in the business. Okay. Now, my reaction to this is like, okay, so what? You're the daughter of Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and you're the niece of Bret Hart. Okay. What can you do in the ring? I didn't like her because of her name. Nor do I feel I should give respect to her because of her name and her family. I give respect to her of the fact of how good she is and how she's very respectful in the back and stuff like that. Has great etiquette. But the thing is that the fact that she keeps pushing it and pushing that whole spiel that I grew up in this business, it just seems like she's like entitled for something. That she's entitled to be in the main event. She's entitled to be treated better than the other divas and stuff like that. Which I, for one, feel that she should be treated better. But at the same time, you can't use your family as a reason to get better treatment in the company from the powers that be, and that's my opinion. And the thing is, and there are times that she is concerned about the young divas, even though she kind of denies it. She is. And kind of questions how come this person is getting over and I should be getting over because I know how to wrestle and stuff like that and yada, yada, yada. But the thing is, my theory as to why she's not being taken seriously in WWE, I know the IWC and YWC takes her seriously because she's a wrestler, but in terms of like business-wise, why she's not being taken seriously is because, let's face facts, she's riding the coattails of her family. I mean, to me, like, if you want to introduce yourself as that person when you first came to WWE, I would have said that's fine. But she's been in the company for a good amount of years now, and I think that it's time for her to actually do something different than keep on saying that I'm one of the Hart family and stuff like that. Which is a fact. It's a fact, but it's time for her to actually do something else that has nothing to do with the Hart family. I mean, perfect example of this. Take Randy Orton. When he first came into the WWE, everyone said that he was the son of Bob Orton Jr. and the grandson of Bob Orton Sr. So he's a third generation superstar. Now, he didn't dress or wrestle just like his father, somewhat, but then you still see a little bits and pieces of his father. But as time went by, you notice that he kind of stepped away from his father's share and became his own man, like being the Legend Killer or the Apex Predator and whatnot. You know, the guy that hears voices. So he became something that separated from his predecessor, his father and his grandfather. The same goes with The Rock. You know what I mean? When he first came into WWE, he was Rocky Maivia, and everyone didn't like it. Everyone despised it. And everyone knows that, yes, he is the son of Rocky Johnson and the grandson of High Chief Peter Maivia. We get that. But it wasn't going to get over because it seemed kind of phony, and he should have been his own self. And then finally, when he joined the Nation of Domination and became The Rock, that's when people started to take him more seriously, because he's actually being something that he created, not living off of the legacy of his father and grandfather. And even Cody Rhodes and Goldust did the same exact thing. You know, you don't see any traces of Dusty Rhodes in them. Maybe at first when they first started, but as time went by, they became something totally different from their predecessor. You know? And I don't see that in Natalya at all. And I think that's why she's not getting over the way she should. For wrestling fans who just want to watch the wrestling, oh yeah, she's getting over. But for the business-wise to be taking her seriously, she needs to do something else. She needs to stop wearing the pink and black, in my opinion. And she should have some kind of new music that doesn't relate to her predecessors. I mean, you listen to how the intro starts. Starts just like her father and her uncle. And it just screams heart. And think about this. Why do you think Curtis Axel is not getting over? Yes, I once said that I had high hopes for his gimmick. His new gimmick as Curtis Axel rather than Michael McGillicuddy. But then as time went by, I realized that he too is riding the coattails of his father and his grandfather. I mean, call himself Curtis Axel. We know that's a blend of both Kurt Hennig and Larry the Axe Hennig. We all know that. And coming out to a similar song like his father, I mean, that's not really making yourself your own. You know what I mean? I think the only way that you can make it on your own is to pretty much have no trace of your predecessors whatsoever. You know what I mean? Yes, I'm not saying that you should change your name, because sometimes what's in the name? I mean, Randy Orton's still Randy Orton, and whatnot. Cody Rhodes, it's still Cody Rhodes, just like, you know, Rhodes, Curtis Axel. I mean, not Curtis Axel, and Orton, but they need to have a total change, you know, and have another example of a person that rides the coattails of their predecessor, Ted DiBiase Jr. Enough said. You know what I mean? And that's one of my also concerns of our, I think his name is Cody Hall, Scott Hall's son. I might be wrong about his name, but when I saw his work and saw him dressed just like his father, I'm like, I hope he doesn't stay like that for long, because he's not going to get over. He's not going to be taken seriously from anybody. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I'm not shitting on Natalya's career. It's more on the fact that I just feel that she would be best suit if she does something totally different, like drop the pink and black, stop riding the coattails of her father, and stop always mentioning that I'm a Hart fan, because I have to say there are gonna be people that just don't give a damn, because it doesn't mean that you're gonna be just as famous as your father and as your uncle and your other uncle, you know. But what do you guys think? Do you think that Natalya is good where she is? Do you think she's entitled to say that she's a Hart fan? I mean, I'm not saying that she shouldn't be proud of it. I mean, she should be proud. But I just feel she shouldn't use that as a way of saying that I'm entitled to this, entitled to that. What do you guys think about that? And what do you guys think about all the other wrestlers I mentioned that are second generation, third generation, or part of a dynasty, a family, or a wrestler, you know, who is, you know, very famous. Leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and we'll see you go from there. Alright guys, I'm expecting a lot of hate from this and from a lot of people, so take care.